Alright, what's up, guys? Stray Diggity Dog here at your service. Know it's been a while since I did a video, but I've been hard at work, as you can see, and also my actual day job. It's been keeping me busy. But finally got the personal rig done and optimized just about the way I want it. So I thought I'd kind of showcase it, go over the specs, and I'm really happy with it. I mean, I've been collecting parts and money for almost 2 years. I was slow playing it, of course. I could have got it done a lot sooner, but I really wanted to kind of go overkill and get everything I wanted and not cut any corners, and I did that, and I'm really, really happy with the results. The 50 series has been a kind of a wash, as y'all know. Launched in January. It was, I think, the middle of May before I could actually get my hands on a 50 series card, and nothing else would do but, oh, here comes Axel with his bone. Nothing else would do but me getting the Astral. From the second I saw it, I was like, man, I want that card. And on top of that, it was kind of a safety net as well, because the Astral has, it's kind of baked in to where it has, monitoring of the power cord overheating and all that. There's software baked into it to where it'll actually alert you if that cord gets too hot. Or, don't give me a line, something along those lines. I did download MSI Afterburner. I've been meaning to do that for a long time just so I could show you guys more specs. I'm not going to go into the benchmarks all crazy like most people do. To be honest with you, I watch a ton of tech videos, and when they go into the benchmarks, I know people want to know how the systems perform and what games and what results they're getting, but that's the most boring part to me, because everybody pretty much has the same benchmark suite, and if you watch a lot of tech videos, then you're watching the same games over and over being played. And honestly, I'll just kind of take your word for it, and I know a lot of people won't. That's probably why they do it, but I'd rather see the data, and just compare results from that. And if it's not correct, there'll be a whistleblower in the comments. But I would rather just see on screen the data of, what they ran on what game or whatever. And I would much rather see that than see the same exact games played over and over again, tested, even if it's for just a moment. The last 5-10 minutes of every video is the same benchmark suite being ran, the same games. It just gets kind of redundant. But the MSI Afterburner is actually really, really good software. It's really cool because you can just hit, I've got mine set to the equals button because I never use that, but you can just hit the equals button and it'll pop up as soon as you do, showing you exactly what your stats are. And if you want it to go away, you just hit the equal button, disappears, Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But this is a 175 hertz monitor, so I'm kind of capped at 175 FPS, but I have every setting cranked up as high as it'll go. 4K quantum OLED panel. I honestly kind of wish I would have went like 27 inch. This is kind of overkill, I'm not gonna lie. But my first monitor, nothing would do. I had to have the curved monitor. And I'm gonna be honest, when I finally got my hands on one and got it, you don't even really notice that it's curved. It doesn't make that big of a difference. Mine aren't extremely curved. I know they have ratings for them. I want to say mine's 1500R. I don't 100%. I need to study that more and figure out exactly how the rating goes. But my first monitor is a Gigabyte 1440p, 144 hertz, 34 inch. So when I decided I wanted a 4K OLED, of course, it being my primary monitor, I couldn't have it be smaller than my secondary monitor, so I went with 34 inches again. So that ended up with this wall of monitor you see before you. But really happy with this panel. It looks really good. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. It's the Samsung Odyssey G8. Has the fancy RGB at the back of it. And as I said, 175 hertz. This is Age of Empires 4 I'm running here, and I have every setting cranked up to high. And it is just running flawlessly. I guess I should go over the specs of the PC. That's why you guys are here, right? But as far as the PC goes, I went with true blue Lee and Lee Infinity fans. For a lot of my flips, I use like dark rock, and they do look really good. But for my personal build, like I said, that's what took me so long. I didn't cut any corners. I went, balls to the wall, the max. I did 4 of the LCD fans. I didn't see a point in doing the bottom 3 and the top 3 because you're not really going to be able to see those little screens in there that well anyway. To be honest, the hoses, the way I oriented it, the hoses kind of cover this little screen in my exhaust. But I have 3 intake on the bottom, 3 intake on the back, and then 1 exhaust and 3 exhaust through the top with my radiator. This is Trikes, I believe is how they pronounce it. Panorama 360 SE. As soon as I saw that screen on that AIO, I was like, man, I gotta have it. And I'm super happy with it. It's really cool. I'll go over some of the default images you can display on it. All the default images are actually really cool. I haven't even felt the need to download my own stuff and put on there because there's so many cool ones that are just baked into it already. Where was I here? I have also, the screens on the fans. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. You can put your own images on there, or GIF, however you pronounce it. It comes with some of those baked in as well. There's not as many animated deals you can get on there as the Trikes has, but I've got like a little rocket ship on the bottom, and then I've got my GPU temp in the middle and my CPU temp in the top. And then this one back here, like I said, you can't really see it that well because of the way the hoses block it. And if I would have went with my radiator this way, it would have probably blocked more of these. So I'd rather block 1 than blocking these 3. But I've got like a little guy climbing up a skyscraper and then sliding back down, animated on this fan. There's a lot going on here. To some people, I understand this may be distracting to have it in the dead center of your setup, but I don't know, I like it. Kind of getting to see what I paid for. But all in all, I've got probably almost 15K in the whole studio, the way it sits. I mean, that's including desk, monitors, PC, a lot of the inventory I have on hand right now. I don't know what that's doing. Smart remote is searching for devices. I'm still learning this monitor. I've never had a smart TV before or monitor. But yeah, anyway, we got 10 of the Lee and Lee Infinity fans. There's an SL and a TL, I believe, which at the time they were out of stock on most of them. I was having trouble getting the exact ones I wanted, like as far as intake and exhaust. And I didn't actually intentionally make these different, but it worked out. I think it kind of adds a little flair to it. being like a little different design on the top rather than the bottom. The bottom has your classic infinity mirrored Hall effect, where the top is not, I don't know what you'd call that. These are the TL, I believe. They're about $100 a 3-pack, so you got to be ready to invest if you want to go this route. But the reason this video took so long to come out and this build took so long, once I actually got all my hardware and got ready to build, I had 2 Strix motherboards in a row die on me. And if you follow any of the channel, my last couple videos kind of touched on that. The first Strix motherboard was the Z790H, which is like the lowest end Strix you can get, but still a Strix motherboard. I bought it brand new on Prime Day, and it wouldn't even post like at all. Like I couldn't get a post at all. I do everything like anti-static build mat. I wear nitrile gloves that are non-conductive while I build. I'm extremely careful. This isn't my first rodeo is what I'm trying to say. But for whatever reason, I couldn't get a post out of it. It is still under warranty. I need to send that back. I have till January to do so. The second motherboard I got was the Z790E, which is the exact opposite. It's the highest end variant of the Strix motherboard you can get. I did buy that one used because it's the LGA 1700 platform, which is getting a little bit dated now. So they don't, have a ton of them they're not in production anymore at all, I believe. But even used, it's $350. And I got that one in, got everything together, and it would post, but I could not get it to boot into Windows. I tried different drive slots. I did every troubleshooting method you can do. I even swallowed my pride and took it to a tech shop in town, and he said, man, I think you got a bad motherboard. He ended with the same conclusion. But, man, at that point, I was done with Strix. I loved the aesthetics of Strix. I wanted all my stuff to be the same because I have a ROG card. And, I always try to get all my stuff the same, like as far as my peripherals and everything, to where I use as little software, different softwares as I can. But at that point, I was done with Strix. I ended up going with this Aorus Z790, and it's a Aorus Pro X Wi-Fi 7. Because I am, unfortunately, on Wi-Fi right now. I'm going to run an Ethernet cord through the house to the router is in my son's room, so I'm going to have to run a cord across the house to get to it. It's actually, I say across the house, it's right next door. But I have 64 gigabytes of DDR5 Corsair Dominator RAM. I wanted this specific design on the RAM rather than the new Dominator is that solid bar. But I don't know, this just reminded me of like an old school stereo equalizer, which I haven't even really played around with in the settings to make it do anything other than just stay a solid color. But I am running it like, I have XNP enabled, but I'm not getting the full 6,000 that I should be able to get on there. I knew this was going to be an issue running 4 sticks. I just wanted it to be full. In hindsight, I probably should have looked around a little harder and found a couple dummy sticks to where it would be full, but I would actually just be running 2 sticks, but still in dual channel. But I did some work a while back for a guy, and it was actually a buddy, and he hooked me up with 128 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance DDR5. So I'm probably going to play around with that just to see how optimal I can get it with just running 2 sticks of that. I'll still have my 64 gigabytes of RAM, but I'll be able to just run it in 2 sticks and hopefully get the full 6,000 speed that I want on my RAM. Either way, 3D Mark, I'm getting excellent scores, so I'm not having any problem in that regard. It's just not as fast as it could be. Get out of this, and I'll actually go ahead and run a 3D Mark while I'm yapping. This is just a wireless phone charger my wife got me as a gift. That little color scheme matched, so I thought it'd be cool to set it up there. If you'll notice here, this guy is actually part of that infinity fan that has if you look back in some of my YouTube shorts, I have a reel where I actually show where I had to cut part of that fan off, just this one exhaust fan, with the bandsaw at work. I know not everybody has access to a bandsaw. I've seen some people use like a Dremel. I'm not the only one to have done this crazy feat, but yeah, there was no way I was getting that fan in there without doing some kind of modification. And the LCD fan for a single like that, I think is 50 or 60 bucks. So it's kind of iffy having a saw on it with a bandsaw. But as you see, everything came out fine. It worked. I just couldn't throw that away until I made this video, because I just wanted to show that I did actually have to saw part of the fan off to get it to fit in there. If not, my only other option was to put the plain Jane, just non-RGB NZXT fan it came with back in there, and I didn't want to go that route. Also, the CPU, like I said, I'm on LGA 1700 socket, is 12th gen i9. It's a 12900KF. I hate that. I really, really wish that I would have not been so cheap and spent the money and got the I mean, I do have the unlocked version, but I'm not going to be able to use QuickSync or Intel's. You know, it's good for editing, and I don't have the onboard graphics, because I got a deal on the i9 for 230 bucks on Prime Day. At the time, it was going for like 300, and I did not want to go with 13th or 14th gen for obvious reasons. You know, they're frying themselves basically. Go ahead and run still Nomad here. But yeah, I know they have microcodes and BIOS updates to where you can get around that. It's not as much of a problem anymore, but just to be safe, I went with 12th gen. I didn't have any problem doing that. That's I've been running a beast of a laptop. It's a Zephyrus M16 ROG 12th gen i9, so I knew what that chip was capable of. I knew I'd be happy with it. It would suffice. And I've been doing that on a laptop. Now, I now have an unlocked version on a desktop with more CUDA cores. I knew I was going to be, if I was fine with it on a laptop chip, then it was going to be more than enough on the desktop. So I went with 12th gen i9. As you see, that's a 5080 Astral graphics card. I spent more than I should have on it. It was, I noticed it's gone up a little more since. I did get it for $16.99 on Newegg. And now I notice it's kind of sitting at like $17.99 most places I look. It has the same exact cooler on it as a 5090, so they're damn near identical. So I have no problem with cooling on that bad boy, because this cooler's probably overkill on it. But man, something about that Astral, it was a really nice looking card. If I was gonna spend over $1,000 anyway, the way I saw it, I might as well get what I actually want, right? So I went with that. That was obviously most of the budget was spent on that, but I do actually have 10 terabytes of storage. I know that's also overkill, but yeah, see, I'm coming in below average on my score because I'm running those 4 sticks of RAM. So I am going to play around with that and probably put the 232 gig sticks in there and see what better optimization I can get locked in there. But either way, 200 plus FPS, 1440p, Battlefield, estimated game performance. Try not to make this video too long, but I'll give y'all a little close up here. And I'll have another video coming soon that'll be a full tour. Right now I still have to do some cable management. I don't have my workbench side set up exactly the way I want it yet. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, if you guys haven't been able to tell by now. But I'm really happy with the build. That's where I was talking about how you can barely see that screen because of the way the hoses kind of block it. You can kind of see a little guy climbing up and down the skyscraper and then sliding back down. If I have like a CPU or GPU temp or something on there, I'm still able to read the numbers, so I'm fine with that. I kind of did the streamer at an angle like that. I thought it was, I don't know, I thought it looked cooler like that because you kind of get to see more of what you paid for rather than having it neat and tidy, you know, where you barely see any of it. I don't ever really see anybody do that, but I don't know. It's not a mistake is what I'm getting at. I just thought it looked kind of cool angled like that. Get to see more of it. Like I said, you can barely see the bottom and the top, so I didn't go with the LCD fans on that, but extremely happy with the build overall. Like, really happy. The battery died on it. This little skull I got at work, it actually lights up. The battery's almost dead now, but I just thought it looked cool sitting on top of there. But I'm going to try to wrap this up where it's not too long of a video. Had to put the logo on it. Usually all my builds, the sticker's on the inside of the panel where I'm not putting stickers all over people's PCs, but it's my own rig, so I threw it on there. Got the fire extinguisher after that little apartment PC caught on fire on me. Well, start smoking anyway. I immediately got on Amazon and ordered a fire extinguisher. But yeah, I don't know. I might end up going with some wireless peripherals soon. I've been using the wireless mouse on the workbench side, and I used to be diehard against wireless, but that was a long time ago. They've come a long way since, so I think I am going to go wireless with my next set of peripherals. Still have the numpad out. This is, I think I've told the story on it before, but this is one of the first peripherals I got with my laptop, like way back in the day, when I didn't even have an actual gaming laptop yet. And it's just kind of, I don't know, sentimental almost at this point. So I still keep it plugged in just for aesthetics. I don't even really use it since I do have a full-size keyboard. But anyway, a setup is never really done. It's always evolving. I have 4 monitors total. I just plug those in for shits and giggles, but this one I can't actually turn and utilize it, but I just plugged them all in just for shits and giggles. But when I finish out the workbench side, and I've got like another pegboard and some RGB shelves I'm going to hang on Audrey's side of the setup, and I still have all my cable management to get done, which I'm about to start working on. I'll go ahead and show you guys this. I thought this was kind of a cool idea. I got one of those little LED light switches from Harbor Freight and hooked up down here, so anytime I need to go down here and do any cable management, I can just flip that on and I can see what I'm doing. And also I'm about to unplug everything and do the cable management, but I got those little tags where I can actually mark what every wire is and what it leads to. But yeah, that's the next project. Once I get done with that, I'll give you guys a full setup tour of the workbench side and the overall studio. I guess you can call it that. It's turning into a studio anyway. Also just changed out my rack for all my inventory and parts for my builds and flips. But yeah, I think we're gonna close it out now. I don't think I missed anything. This is the H9 Elite NZXT case. I don't think I mentioned that. That's pretty much everything. Anyway, yeah, any more questions about the build or ideas of what I should have done or future ideas for the setup in general, just holler at me in the comments. And appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Peace.